Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. It's Friday, May 17th. You're watching News 2 on via Channel 4 and 504. I'm Leslie Camisiang. Topping our stories tonight, a standoff at the Casino Control Commission on St. Croix on Friday morning, where Department of Justice investigators tasked to serve with the removal papers to Casino Control Commission chairperson Ann Golden ended up waiting in the lobby of the Golden Rock building after Ann Golden refused to come out of her office. The incident is in connection with the results of a DOJ audit done on the Casino Control Commission that revealed questionable expenses, including roughly $3,500 spent in Disney World and almost $5,000 spent at the ticket retail site Ticketmaster. Now, according to documents obtained by News2, a host of expenses from travel to professional services failed to follow government procedures. A lot of them, according to the DOJ documents, were either non-allowable or did not come with the required documentation. Golden appeared to incur many of the questionable charges. Again, according to the DOJ documents, a June 2018 draft report of the Commission's credit card showed almost $66,000 in meals and entertainment expenses. Of that amount, $65,380 was charged to the card assigned to Golden. Supporting documents were never received by the DOJ for those expenses, even after they were requested. Now, Golden was finally served close to noontime, and we will keep you updated on this story. With the major revamping that shook up the Senate on Wednesday, some senators are giving their side of the story. On Friday, Senator Donna Fred Gregory came on my talk show, Keeping It Real on the Go, and explained what has happened to her from her perspective. News 2 has the story.
After just 4 months on the job, the Senate majority was reorganized on Wednesday, leading to the ouster of Senators Kenneth Gittens and Donna Fred Gregory from their leadership roles as Senate President and Senate Vice President, respectively. According to a press release from the new majority, the changes were needed because prior leadership operated in obscurity and little to no work was getting done. Senator Marvin Blyden, the new majority leader, said, "A legislative body is a group compromise of equals. It is simply unacceptable for a legislative president to make unilateral decisions regarding the legislature's direction and operations without conferring with his colleagues." Senator Alicia Barnes added, "We are dissatisfied with the direction of the legislature under the former president. After the first 100 days, we took the opportunity to reevaluate our progress and realized that we could not move forward positively under the present leadership." But on Friday, on Leslie Camisiang's radio show Keeping It Real, Senator Fred Gregory had a different perspective on what happened.
And it's so important for us to tell the people the truth. You know, I listened to one of the radio shows last night talking about the concerns with leadership, the leadership of the Senate. And, you know, listen, in any organization, there's always concerns with leadership.
Sure.
This is not a perfect world. None of us are perfect people. However, what is our responsibility as leaders is to try to figure out how to work for the betterment of any organization, and in this case, for the betterment of the people. So I heard about the lack of communication and all that stuff, and some of the folks that was talking about the lack of communication did not attend our caucus meetings, never showed any interest, very aloof, never showed any interest in the meetings. I don't know how they could speak about them things.
Wow.
They were not involved.
Wow.
They were always away, never on the ground. I always had something else to do. So I was shocked when I heard that on that talk show last evening.
Senator Fred Gregory described the moment she realized something was up.
We agree that, you know, once we have the amendment by the second day, which was when the bill would bubble up on the floor, we would move it forward. So I moved the bill as discussed in our caucus. So that's when I realized that, you know, we got some trust issues going on here. Wow. Because when I moved the bill, as it was assigned to me to move. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Certain people had bills assigned. We met as a team. I said, we're going to move this bill, we're going to move that bill, who's going to move X, Y, Z.
Of course.
And then when I moved the bill, I hear all of these no votes.
Wow.
So that's when my anxiety started to raise up. I was like, okay, so what's going on
Sabotage,
here? Yeah, they sabotaged me.
Wow.
Okay.
But with everything that has happened, the freshman senator said she wants to move forward with the new majority and do the people's work.
I cannot disappoint the people. They didn't put me here. They did not elect me to get involved in cat fights or whatever you want to call it. I'm not elected for that. I have to remain focused. From my end of the situation, I am not going to operate as a bitter Senator, I have to move forward. I don't even consider this a setback for me, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. It's really an opportunity for me to really drill down more in my work. I was not elected to serve as finance chair, as vice president, or any of those things. I was elected to serve the people. It's not about the powerful positions that you hold in the legislature.
Thank you.
It's about the work that you do, and my work will speak for itself.
For News 2, this is James Gardner.
We'll keep you further updated on that story. Turning our attention to crime, the Virgin Islands Police Department has made a third arrest in the deadly shooting at First Stop gas station on St. Thomas that led to the death of a court-martial. The incident happened on May 7th around 1 in the morning, and 911 got a call about multiple shots fired in the area of First Stop gas station. Then got another call that 2 people were shot and taken to the Schneider Regional Medical Center. That was when it was discovered that a Superior Court Marshal was one of the victims. The defendant, James Nathaniel, was seen at the entrance to the gas station's convenience store getting into a verbal altercation with another male, which led to an exchange of gunfire, according to police. Nathaniel is seen on surveillance removing a black firearm from his waistband area and also firing a firearm at another individual during the gun battle. On Thursday, May 16th, the 22-year-old suspect turned himself in at the Richard Colwood Command and was arrested. He was charged with assault first degree, assault third degree, reckless endangerment, possession of an unlicensed firearm during the commission of a crime, and brandishing and exhibiting a firearm. Nathaniel's bail was set at $75,000. He was remanded to the Bureau of Corrections Detention Center. Coming up next, highlights from the UVI graduation ceremonies on St. Croix. That and more when we get back. Close to 300 graduates from the University of the Virgin Islands were cheered on by their loved ones. There were family members, including a mother and son, that entered UVI together and have graduated together in the class of 2019. CNN analyst Bakari Sellers remarked that graduates were the seed of dissent. Highlighting that UVI was first formed in the midst of the civil rights movement, Bakari compelled graduates not to conform, but to make new progress in the world.
There are 296 graduates from the University of the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, and St. Thomas campuses this year. The 2019 graduates are the last class that will not benefit from the free tuition policy. However, on the Albert Sheen campus, the class boasts a mother and son graduating pair, as well as 2 sisters receiving Bachelors of Science in Nursing. This year is the first PhD graduate in creative leadership on St. Croix. The graduates honored a dedicated professor and was prelude to the life lessons from a CNN analyst.
Finally come, we can finally look into the eyes of our classmates and say proudly, Ayo, we make it. Yeah! Today is our day. Our day to smile, our day to laugh, our day to cry, dance, and celebrate however we see fit.
We are proud to bestow upon you the Doctor of Humane Letters, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. In recognition of this degree, please come forward so that Chairman Smock can vest you with a hood, and I will present you with the diploma from the University of the Virgin Islands. We are honored.
Look, I know it's tradition that commencement speakers, they impart some wisdom to the graduating class that prepares you for the future that lies before you. And that really means I'm supposed to give you some advice on what you should do with your life. But the only real advice I have is that you shouldn't take advice from people who tell you what you should do with your life. The best I can say is find something that you love to do, work like hell to get good at it, and someone is bound to pay you for it. But also you need to understand that when you leave here, understand this one sentiment that some folk won't tell you. Life is not fair.
News 2 also caught up with the keynote speaker for the commencement ceremony, CNN political commentator and author Bakari Sellers. Here's some of that conversation. Mr. Sellers, welcome back to the Virgin Islands. We know this isn't your first visit. What can we look forward to in your message to the graduates of the university this afternoon?
Well, today is not about me, and it's really not even about the students, but it's about the family members who prayed so hard and gave so much to see those young men and women walk across the stage. So my challenge today is so that they understand it's not the end of anything, it's just the beginning, and we have a great deal of expectation for them as they move forward.
What do you recommend that students, try to do as they embark on their careers?
Well, if not me, then who, and if not now, then when, is what I would tell those students. And I think that some of these senators should get nervous, because I want all these students, even if they're 21, 22, 23 years old, to start getting ready to run for office. That's the way that you create change, and that's the way that you move your community forward. So every young person that I've met since I've been here has been one who's had dreams of grandeur, and I'm excited just to be a part of their journey.
Dr. Hall, this is normally one of the most exciting times of the year. New graduates coming out from the university. How many graduates do we have graduating this year from the university?
300.
That's a very...
both campuses. And we did St. Croix yesterday, and we'll be doing St. Thomas today.
In terms of the diversity in the majors that the graduates this year are coming from the university, what studies across the board and degrees are we looking at producing?
We're talking about degrees across all 5 schools and colleges: science and math, business. What are the unique areas is that we have PhD graduates for the first time on both campuses.
With the new free tuition bill that has been passed by the legislature, what do you foresee the numbers at the university doing? Are there any projections that you've made in terms of increase in students?
Well, our overall projection is to get back up to 2,400, which is where we were before the storm, and then in 5 years to get to 3,000. So if we were to reach those numbers overall, then instead of 300 graduates, we would have 400, 450, and that's what we need to do, because we need to produce more college graduates for the territory, and even for those who want to go off and do things around the world.
Rotary clubs in the Virgin Islands have a long tradition of giving back to the community, and on Wednesday, Rotary of St. Thomas too continued an annual tradition of their own. The annual car raffle, a big event by Rotary Club of St. Thomas too, was held this week. The club meeting started around 12:30 p.m., but the actual drawing took place at 1 p.m. at Frenchtown Bistro. The annual raffle benefits various Rotary charities, including UVI scholarships, the Adelita Cancrang Junior High School, Bethlehem House Soup Kitchen, the Math Counts competition, senior citizen support, and the Lockhart School Literacy and Leadership Program. Here's more from that event.
Drawing Day 2019 Eco Sports car. We have many other prizes. We have cruises, we have cash, we have dinner for 4, we have necklaces, you name it. Our prizes are gorgeous.
We have been conducting this car raffle as a major fundraiser here in the community since 1994. And it is the major project that this club does to help fund the number of various charitable events that we do, everything from feeding the homeless to providing scholarships to students at UVI. Most recently, post-hurricane, we had a cistern water testing program that we funded, and also a program to help seniors that were having problems funding their prescription drugs. We provided free prescription drugs to a number of local residents here within the community. So we appreciate the efforts of the community in helping us and assisting us in making the home that we live in a better place to live.
Coming up next, your Pet of the Week plus News 2 AccuWeather forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back. For the Pet of the Week, meet Chica, a small canine bundle of warm love and joy, courtesy of the Pet Place in St. Croix. We also get a preview of Prom for Paws, a fundraiser for the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center, sponsored by The Lost Dog. Here is the Pet of the Week.
Chica is a wonderful little dog. She is about 3 years old. She came to us because her owners weren't able to keep her anymore. She's been with us for a couple weeks and she is a sweetheart. She's really good with other dogs. She's very friendly with people. She is, we think, a Crucian Chihuahua mix, a very special breed of dog. They're very friendly like she is, and she would make a terrific pet for just about any home. She is, as you can see, calm. You know, you don't have to deal with all the crazy puppiness if you get a dog that's a little bit older, which is nice. She walks well on a leash, and she's basically a perfect companion dog, either for a single person, a couple, for a family. She'd fit in just about anywhere. We have a terrific fundraiser this weekend. It's the 5th annual Prom for Paws, which is put on by the Lost Dog Pub in Frederickstead every year for the last 5 years, so we're really grateful to them. It's going to be a great party.
Prom for Paws is an annual prom fundraiser for the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center. We have karaoke, we have a DJ, we do prom photos, we do Texas Hold'em, raffle items, all kinds of fun stuff to raise money for the animal shelter. Everybody that's here, it's all volunteer work, so 100% of the proceeds goes to the animal shelter.
If you're interested in Chica, you can call the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center at 778-1650 or visit their website at www.stcroixawc.org. We've also featured pets from the Humane Society of St. Thomas. You can check them out by calling 775-0599 or by visiting www.hsstt.com. And now let's take a look at the weather and see what we're going to have over the weekend with our News 2 AccuWeather forecast.
Hopefully you've liked the weather over the past couple of days, I should say, because that's what we're going to be seeing the next few as well. There is a front here off towards the northwest. The good news about this front, as it continues to push towards the south, it's slowing down and it's weakening. So it should fade out before it really makes a difference in our area. Maybe a couple of clouds over the next few days, a few extra ones in the forecast, but really that should have no impact on us. So as we head through tonight, 78 for that low. A couple showers found out there every now and then, partly cloudy skies, but more of that quiet weather in place, and it stays the same as we head into tomorrow. St. John coming in at 86, a stray shower certainly possible. You know the type. They last about 5 to 15 minutes, and then the sun is back out and it's great again. And these are very sparse for this time of year too. We're not talking about a lot of active weather. 86 in St. Thomas, a couple showers at times, and again more showers at times in St. Croix, but again focus more on the sunshine, and don't forget the sunglasses and the sunscreen. If you do head out on the water, watch some of those showers, but beyond that, we're looking good here. Waves around 2 to 4 feet, so it is a little bit of an increase, but it's not bad in the Atlantic. And in the Caribbean, we're still okay with those easterly breezes, keeping you quite comfortable out and about. Now, again, that forecast calling for more of the same weather because that front stays far to our north, and that's where the moisture will collect as we head into the start of our weekend. So you'll notice those spot sprinkles every now and then, but the big activity is much farther off towards the north. The next couple of days here, more of the same, just plenty of sunshine out there, a couple stray showers every now and then. Those rain chances are around, say, 10 to 20%, which means it's the trade showers. They last about 5 to 15 minutes. There's no huge problem here. And notice the numbers, managing to stay in the mid-80s through the afternoons. Meanwhile, the lows will stay somewhere in the upper 70s.
Thank you for that. We're all still looking for rain. We want the rain. Coming up next, news and comments with Alex Randall, plus News 2 Sports with Gary Anthony. Stick around.
You're watching News 2. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. Have you ever wondered what our taxi drivers do with their cash? You know that all those drivers who are taking people from the cruise ship dock to downtown on a cash basis only are putting the cash in their pockets. And cash is so nice, it pretty much disappears. You don't really have to report it to anyone, just pay your bills. No one ever knows how much taxi drivers are accurately reporting of all their income. Now, I'm not saying that any of them are cheating, but it would be so easy to cheat, not count all the money. And just think about the numbers for a second. $10 per person, 28 seats in the Safari, that's $280 per trip, $560 for a round trip. And how many trips can a Safari driver make in a day from Havenside to downtown? 2, 3, 5, 6, 10? More than one. They may be bringing in a few $1,000s a day. Of course, that's only when the ships are in. But no wonder there's resistance when the Department of Tourism wants every taxi driver to begin accepting debit cards and credit cards. That would leave a paper trail, and they might have to report every dollar. See, in the real world out there, taxi drivers take credit cards. Uber and Lyft drivers are paid through the smartphone app. Only in the Virgin Islands are taxi fares paid in cash only. I do not know about this, but I find it disturbing that Jeffrey Epstein is doing construction on 2 offshore islands without proper permits. It's not just the construction on Great St. James Island that's being done without Corps of Engineer permits or our own DP&R permits in place. Our government fines people doing construction without permits. It's $10,000 per day. But if you're rich enough, that doesn't stop you. It's not just the construction that's disturbing. I find it disturbing because Jeffrey Epstein's been convicted of child sex trafficking. He was convicted of what any normal person would call sex slavery, abusing underage girls, and he weaseled his way out of it. He got out of a lifetime in prison because he's extremely rich. Frankly, I would not want him anywhere near the Virgin Islands. Nevertheless, he owns 2 private islands off the coast of St. Thomas. On Little St. James, he tore down all the native vegetation and built a bunch of buildings, and he's poised to do the same on Great St. James. And one can only imagine what kind of nefarious things a rich man can do on a private island. I know he has a legal right to privacy, but I'm sorry, I just don't like it. Oh, and speaking of private islands, Thatch Key is for sale. You can own your very own 230-acre private island off the east end of St. Thomas, and get this, the price is dropping. It is on sale. The original price was $27.5 million. And now you can buy Thatch Key for a bargain price of only $19.5 million. Of course, you'll have to bring your own tent because there are no houses on Thatch Key and there are no permits to build anything either. So what do you get for nearly $20 million? 230 acres of empty island, and maybe one day you can build something. Speaking of building something, in case you haven't looked downtown St. Thomas, the reconstruction project is beginning to look, well, almost finished. Like all government construction projects, this one has gone on forever. So many contractors, lawsuits, stops and starts, but it's more done than not done. And now they're working on the very last block before Post Office Square. It was on hold for Carnival, and now it's back to work, and it's mostly at night. Repaving the side streets, new cobblestones on Main Street. Most of the utility lines are underground, and little clusters of palm trees have appeared. It should be done by August of 2020. You should be worried about this. Our children have the lowest immunization rate in the nation. Only about 70% of our people have been vaccinated against measles. The Center for Disease Control thinks that 80% is the minimum to protect a community. Measles is nothing to joke about. A few years back, public health professionals considered it a disease that had been eradicated from the U.S., but a whole lot of misinformation went around about vaccines, and parents stopped having their children immunized. The result is a resurgence of measles, which can be fatal. Right now, there's a cruise ship under quarantine in Curacao, 318 people on board. Only 41 were able to prove they'd been vaccinated. They had to stay because they'd been exposed. And what we do not need is a cruise ship coming here that brings measles. Vaccinations and inoculations are safe and they are effective. And if you have not been inoculated, get your shots. The life you save may be your own or your child's. Hearty congratulations to 300 young people getting diplomas this week. The University of the Virgin Islands holding commencement Thursday on St. Croix, Friday on St. Thomas, bestowing honorary degrees on 2 prominent alumni. Cornell Williams and Dr. Simon Jones Hendrickson. This year's keynote address would be Bakari Sellers, a CNN political commentator, lawyer, and former state legislator, and more than 300 students receiving their degrees and moving on with the rest of their lives. Thanks for watching. This is Alex Randall with news and comment. Now back to Leslie.
Thanks for that, Alex. Now let's see what Gary has in store for News 2 Sports. Gary?
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. The St. Croix IAA Junior Varsity Soccer League wrapped up its regular season yesterday. One of the matches featured Good Hope Country Day School versus Elena Christian Junior High School. GHCD dominated from the start, getting multiple goals from Khalil Francis and Finlay Miller, building a 5-0 halftime lead on their way to an 8-1 win. GCHD finishes the regular season with a perfect 9-0 record, and they gave up only one goal all season. The first round of the playoffs begin on Tuesday. Good Hope Country Day School coach Darryl Rogers likes what he sees in this team.
Well, we played them before, and I've told them even though this is our last game, we need to play as a team. I need more passing, and everyone needs to be involved. I wasn't so much crazy about 6 goals or 8 goals, more about team performance going up towards the playoffs and the final. We already won the league. It's a very young team. Yes, 9 of them came from elementary last year. So you can see how young they are and inexperienced. But what's good about them, they follow instructions very well, and they listen and they play in position. The key today, as most of our games been for the year, is that they stay in their position, and that's the success we've been having this year.
The first ever elementary boys all-star soccer game will be on Saturday. It's St. Croix versus St. Thomas at the brand new Bethlehem Soccer Stadium. First game is at 10:30.
Yeah, the all-star game came about after watching the elementary. I watched both the playoffs and the final here at this field, and I was so impressed with the youngsters from the different schools, because I teach all the schools in St. Croix elementary through the association. So when I looked at the different team and then the youngsters that I saw that's developing through our grassroots program and our school program, I then went to the president and told him I need to put an all-star elementary together, St. Croix, St. Thomas, and we're going to call it, we're picking the best of the best. So I took it from there and went with it, and now it's happening this coming Saturday at our field. St. Thomas bringing the best of St. Thomas, and we're going to compete in 2 games. The first game starts at 10:30, and we will take a long break in between, because they're not going until 3, and then we play a second game. So everybody will get to play on both sides of the island. We've been practicing 3 days a week on our field, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're all excited about it, as we are, because it's the first time that it's happening. So we're sort of looking forward to it. We're building it up. We're getting everything ready for the big day on Saturday. And it's our first game on our brand new AfroTurf field. All elementary parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, you're welcome to come to see these kids perform Saturday, the 18th, at our new stadium on our new field. Looking forward to seeing all of you there.
Finally, in the Western Conference Finals, the Golden State Warriors took a 2-0 series lead over the Portland Trailblazers with a 114-111 win. Game 3 is Saturday in Portland. That's it for sports. Leslie, back to you.
Thank you, Gary. That's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube and on Via Channel 4 and 504, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Follow us on social media, tag us on any stories you want to see on the news, or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm Leslie Comisiang. We'll see you next time.